Hey bakers. Okay, so I'm very well aware that we are doing this thing with Little Debbie right now. However, I was at my local dollar store today to get some treats for my religious ed class because it's our last day and I wanted to have fun and treats and all sorts of goodness. And I came across something that I have not had in probably a good 2 decades. And I saw it and I went, I need to eat this. Hostess cupcakes. Does anybody remember these things? So I got one and then I went, well, if I'm on this whole kick, I should just make them myself. But I needed to buy one because I need to know what it tastes like. It's only fair. Do you remember it? The swirl. Okay, now there are right and wrong ways to eat this too. Now, the right way to eat it is to peel, to don't drop it on the floor, to peel off the top. And if you could get it all in one, that's the best. Oh. Okay. So you have the cake, and it has that beautiful, oh, so delicious. Oh my God. It is so good. So we're going to just pause one day on Little Debbie. And we're going to make these Hostess creamy chocolate. Give me a minute to pick out. Okay, hang on. Okay, so the Little Debbie cakes, it's not a milk chocolate. It's a semi-sweet chocolate. And I have a really good recipe for a kind of like not super dense, airy like semi-sweet chocolate cake. So we are going to make our Hostess cakes. So this is the cool thing about this recipe. It's a 1 bowl recipe. So literally all my ingredients are in here. So what I have in here is 1 cup of flour. You can use any 1-to-1 flour, all-purpose, gluten-free, whatever you want, but it has to be a 1-to-1. 1 cup of sugar, 6 tablespoons of semi-sweet cocoa powder. I'm using Hershey's dark chocolate because it's not really dark, but it's not milk. To me, it's semi-sweet. 1 teaspoon of baking soda, half a teaspoon of salt, 1 egg, half a cup of milk, half a cup of vegetable oil, 3/4 of a tablespoon of vanilla, and then we're going to give this a good mix. And after we have it nice and mixed, we're going to turn down our speed, and we're going to slowly add half a cup of really hot water. And then we're going to pop these in our muffin tins. I'm using lined ones because I kind of want those little decorative edges that the cupcake has when you pull it out of its packaging. And we're going to bake these at 350 degrees for about 12 to 15 minutes or until a toothpick comes out almost clean. You know I'm going to show you. Hey bakers, while our cupcakes are cooking, let's make the delicious ooey gooey cream that goes into the center of our cupcakes. So in my bowl, I have half a cup of lard, not butter. However, I am using butter-flavored lard because that's what I had. All right, so half a cup of lard or shortening or Crisco or whatever you want to call it. I have half a cup of powdered sugar and 1 7-ounce jar of marshmallow cream. Now, do not heat up your marshmallow cream to put it in your bowl. You need to scrape that sucker out because we don't want it warm. Even though I'm going to contradict myself and put warm water in this. All right, so we're going to start mixing this. And then as we're mixing, we're going to slowly add 2 tablespoons of warm water into it. And it's going to be a little messy. All right, hang on. I am covered in marshmallow cream. All right, this is what your cream is going to look like when it's done. Scrape your edges, scrape your beaters, or lick them. Either way, I don't judge. I lick them too. And then set this aside. And let's make the ganache and the vanilla frosting to go on top. We got to get that gorgeous little swirl. All right, bakers. So we have the marshmallow cream made. We have the cupcakes cooking. Now we need the chocolate ganache to go on top. And so in my bowl, I have 4 ounces of semi-sweet chocolate chips and 6 tablespoons of heavy whipping cream. And I'm going to microwave this for 30 seconds at a time, stirring vigorously between them because remember the radiant heat is going to help melt everything. And if you just microwave it for like 3 minutes, you're going to seize up your chocolate and make something gross. And then when this is all melty and good, we're just going to set it aside and then we're going to make the vanilla frosting for that little cute swirl. All right, so my ganache, it only took 1 30-second round because it's not a lot. And it's already super melty and gorgeous. All right, so I'm just gonna make sure there's no chunks, chunk free, and I'm gonna set this aside with my marshmallow cream filling. Okay, now we need that tiny bit of vanilla frosting for the cute little swirl to go on top. So in my bowl here, I have 2 tablespoons of Crisco, lard, butter, not butter. I'm using butter flavored Crisco. I have half a cup of powdered sugar, a literal splash of vanilla, and then we're gonna mix this and we're gonna slowly add drip by drip of heavy whipping cream until we get it to be a little oozy so we can make that cute swirl. All right, perfect. I used maybe a quarter of a teaspoon of heavy whipping cream. I'm gonna pop this in a piping bag, no tip, and then we're gonna set it aside, and once our cupcake's cool, we're gonna make these delicious. All right, I'm excited. All right, bakers, so our cupcakes are done, but the thing that happens when baking, things rise. The Hostess cakes have this great flat top, so what do we do to get them to go flat? We drop them. We want them to condense down on top of each other. So what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of get the air out of them. And then we're going to let them cool. Now, they're not going to be perfectly flat like normal Hostess cakes. These are scratch made, meaning they're way better. All right, let these cool. And then let's get our delicious on. You're seeing in everything right now. All right, bakers, they're cooled. I'm clean. Now it's time to put these bad boys together. Now, we have to fill our cupcake with the marshmallow cream. Now, there are a couple ways to do this. One is with a filling piping tip, which I have. And if you don't have that, don't you worry your pretty little head. You can do it another way. One, you can do it with a knife or a piping tip, and you just kind of cut a little circle, pop your hole out, and then fill it. Oh, I got to put it down. I need 2 hands. Fill it with your marshmallow cream and pop your top back on. Or 2, my bag is a little full, so this is a little difficult. You pop your tip in and you move it around and you fill with your marshmallow cream like that. That's how the machine at Hostess does it. You can do it either way. It doesn't matter. All right, so all of our cupcakes are filled. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my chocolate ganache and just put a spoonful of it over on top of each of my cupcakes and kind of spread it around so that way it fills the whole cupcake. Do this to all your cupcakes. Once my cupcakes are covered with the ganache, I'm going to take that little amount of vanilla frosting that I made and I'm going to do the signature little swirly thing that's on it. It's just loops. Loop, 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 loop. And then I'm going to let these set and let that chocolate firm up. Now remember, if you don't have piping bags, you don't need to use them. Use a Ziploc zip bag. Ziploc bag? We'll go with that. And the Ziploc brand is the better brand to use only for the fact that it's a thicker plastic and it won't on you. It's happened. It's messy. You get to lick your hands, but I'm just saying. All right, bakers, my ganache is not set up fully because I'm an impatient pain in the ass and I need to taste these now. But look at, okay, they're not an exact. They look like it. Look at that. Mine's a little bit more messy. Whatever. Who cares? As long as it tastes delicious. Okay, so let's get this sucker unwrapped. All right. True test. Oh, look at that marshmallow cream. I'm so excited. So the only difference right now is my chocolate's not firm. I don't care. Okay, I know we paused on Little Debbie, but Hostess! So good. Is there a vanilla version of this? Because that would be freaking on point. Maybe I'll have to make that. Try this recipe out, you. My video cut out. So let's try this again. Try this recipe out, you guys. Let me know what you think. Keep the ideas coming. We're going all out.